Action. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Chemical Man Podcast show. Today, we're going to talk about lockout, tagout stuff. And as you can see on this board, we have it's an acid tank. And on there, it comes off the bottom. This is a sight glass right here to kind of show you the level, and then goes back to the top. It's a whole line there for that, right? And the bottom comes out, has a pump, sends it to the unit, everything else. Okay, so what we're going to talk about is not only lockout, tagout stuff, but you do everything right by the book. You do the lockout right. You do the permit right. You do everything you possibly can, and something still goes wrong. And this is an incident we had a while back, and I'm going to talk about it, how it went wrong and could have been bad, but it was okay at the end. Okay. So what they wanted to do is on this acid tank right here, they want to take this sight glass out right here. They want to take this out right here to replace it, put another piece in because it was failing. Something was happening on it. It wasn't doing good at all, right? So what they did is they locked out the valve here. They locked out the valve on the bottom of the tank. There's a bleed. First thing they do is they tried to clear the line back into the tank. So everything would be clear here, right? Then they locked it out here. They drained it down. So everything that was in this pipe from here all the way down drained out. That's what they did, all right? They locked it out underneath the tank, okay? They locked the pump out. It locked the pump out, nothing good. They lock out, make sure nothing goes, suction discharge and all that stuff too, right? So they open the bleeder up, they put their tags on the bleed, they locked that up here too on this valve here. So all the maintenance was supposed to do was unbolt underneath this valve here, unbolt there, take the piece out, clean it, do whatever you need to do, bring it back, put it back in, all right? What they had the mistake, they did the lockout right. They walked everything out the way it should be. They showed them where their tags were. They showed them everything. They showed them the pump was off. They showed everything the way it should have been. The maintenance guys were out there. They walked out with them too. They looked at everything, and they hung a tag to show where they need to break it. They hung a tag right here to show, hey, you need to break right here, and they hung a tag right here to show you need to break the flange right here. Okay, so all that was done. Foreman, everybody on the maintenance side all agree everything was good to go, right? Now this is an acid tank and everything, so since they're making a break on here, they had them in a full PPE. They had them in breathing air. They had a guy down here on the bottom watching the bottle, making sure everything was on the bottle watch. They had the guy up there working, hand tools, all that stuff, right? Well, what the maintenance guy did was the maintenance guy ended up taking out the whole valve. He broke it on the top instead of the bottom. So not only did he break it on the top, that's open to the top of the tank, right? So he broke it on the top, took that out, took everything out. Then he realized, oh no, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done. Wait, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have done that. So he goes and talks. They try to go talk to figure out what it is on there. He tries to go back and put the valve back in. Meanwhile, an operator out there walking around sees a guy up there like, why is he up there not in his PPE? Like, what's going on up here? So he goes over there and talks to him like he should. He's like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on up there? So not only did the guy take the wrong valve out, he took off his PPE, went and got everything back, tried to put the valve back on, okay, without his PPE. The operator was making his round like he should, noticed that something was not right up there because he just gave a permit, and then he's like, why is that guy not in his PPE up there, right? On that. It could have been really bad, and it could have been really bad. And the bad thing about it, the only saving grace was this line going back up to the top was plugged. So nothing can come out. Nothing can come out as far as getting anything in the atmosphere, causing any kind of acid, cloud, anything like that. So luckily that line was plugged. That was a saving grace right there on that one. They didn't know that was plugged because they thought something was wrong here, but they found out later. So these are things that you do when you do a lockout and you do everything right. You go by the book, you do everything, something still can happen. And these are the things that people need to watch out. The operator did nothing wrong in this scenario. He did everything that he was supposed to do. He walked it out. He talked to him. He put the tags where they're supposed to be. He put the tags where they're supposed to break it. All they're supposed to break the bottom and here. He flushed the line. He did everything that he was supposed to do by the book, down to dotting his I's and crossing his T's. The problem was you had a maintenance guy take off the whole valve instead of the bottom. So that, yes, it's on the maintenance crew on that, and that's his fault for doing something wrong. But at the same time, things can happen, and that's what you need to be aware of out there when you're doing stuff like this. You do everything right by the book. You go over every possible scenario you can do. You do everything right, but something sometimes still can happen, and that's a hard thing, you know. If this line wasn't plugged and he took that off and that came out, any kind of vapor clouds or anything, that could have been bad. That could have been bad for a lot of people. And on top of that, he was back up there putting that valve back on with no PPE. So even if it was plugged solid, even if there's not even plugged solid, it might have been a little hole or something through there. It still could have been pretty bad on that. It still could have been bad. So these are also good things to remember when you're doing a lockout tag out. Walk around later. Just try to go check on some jobs, you know. Just, you know, if you're out there doing your rounds or catching samples, just kind of walk by, see if everybody's okay, make sure to do their job, you know. I know there's safety guys out there that do that, and they walk around and they see that, you know, and then safety guys will, well, why wasn't, you know, this on the permit if you don't need it kind of thing. But, you know, as an operator, take your time, you know, do that. Like I said, the operators did everything right in this scenario. What happened was the maintenance guy did something wrong and then tried to fix it, and then it was brought up. Like I said, the saving grace was the line was plugged, but if it was not plugged, it could have been a whole different scenario. And these are things that happen in other parts. You know, there's been times that people have locked out stuff, shown everything, and then when the maintenance crew comes out there later, they go on the wrong line on there. You know, so you think about the thing. If you want to take a next step further, you can actually be out there when they make a first break. If you're not too busy and you don't have a lot going on, when they're making a first break right there, you can watch them, say, hey, or let me see where you're going to make that first break. That way you know they're making the right thing. But as an operator and a maintenance, between the two, you're always supposed to trust them as they're supposed to trust you. You trust that you've done all your lockout right. They trust you that you've done your lockout right, that you've walked through everything. You show where the bleeds are. You show where the valve is supposed to disconnect. You put the tags on there to disconnect. But things do happen in that scenario. So just want to talk about today. This is something that happened a while back. Nobody got hurt. Everybody was good. Like I said, it was saving grace for that line. But it's things you need to just remember out there. You can do everything right down to the very last signature of a red tag or a lockout, and something could go bad on there. Something could happen. And it's just the business that we're in. So anyway, I just want to let everybody, know I'm going to have some more of these scenarios up here. I'm going to talk about some more lockout tag outs, talk about some more pumps, talk about different things like that over there. I'll probably do another one here real soon too with a pump and stuff. Anyway, everybody be safe out there. Everybody make sure you just double check, triple check whatever you do, and then make your round, making sure they're doing. I know it gets busy, especially when you're in a shutdown. There's a whole bunch of people everywhere. There's a whole bunch of people doing stuff on there like that all. But anyway, everybody be safe. Have a good one. And until the next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.